Of the 2011 season, we'd like to welcome in Bryton Barr, Mechanicsburg linebacker, 6 foot, 225-pound tackling machine. The senior to be had 175 tackles as a junior, which was the most in the state, 96 solo. Mr. Barr, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, sir.
Did you just call me sir? Did I just get sir?
Well, you look like a sir. You do.
Well, that's because I'm going bald.
Well, you've earned it, eh? You've earned it.
All right. Last week when I was trailblazing out on the trail, little birdie whispered in my ear, your coach, that Bryton had made a decision and about his college choice, and I, talked to him about it a couple of times over the course of the 3 or 4 or 5 months when he was entertaining offers and deciding where he wanted to go to college, and that he had made a choice. And I will say, stunningly, you chose to go to
Penn State. I chose to walk on to Penn State.
And Penn State did not give him an offer, but he did have 10 other offers, and 4 of them, including Cincinnati, Navy, Akron, and Temple, had all offered him full scholarships, and he chose Penn State as a preferred walk-on. Talk about your decision, first of all, him wearing the Penn State football T-shirt. We are Penn State. But talk about your decision and some of the things that went into it, and why you reached the decision to walk on and forego those scholarship offers.
Yeah, it was about 3 weeks ago. My dad and I sat down. I was getting ready to make a decision, and I was thinking about going to Cincinnati, but Penn State popped up in my mind. I was like, it's been my dream school ever since I was a little kid, and they hadn't offered me. There was a kid that they offered and had committed, and they said they would have given me an offer if he wouldn't have committed. But
wait, was that the linebacker from Valley View?
Yes, sir.
It was Wortman, right? Naeem Wortman?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, I told my dad, do you think I could call him to see if I could walk on? And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to get in the way of your dream just because of the financial problem. But, he's like, yeah, go ahead, call him, see if there's a spot for you to walk on. And I called Coach Ron Vanderlinden up, and he was like, yeah, heck yeah, you're gonna walk on here. And I was so excited, like I was so excited about my decision, like I was speechless. When I hung up the phone, I was jumping around. It was the biggest decision of my life. So.
Well, I'm sure Coach Vanderlinden was a little happy.
Yeah.
The guy, they didn't, when the offer wasn't on the table, the thing when the kid from Valley View commits, they don't have the scholarship to give, and all I can say is, if you'd like to be a preferred walk-on. So tell us what a preferred walk-on, former Mechanicsburg punter Jeremy Boone walked on at Penn State, eventually earned a scholarship there. Talk about what preferred walk-on means and what your goal is in terms of a scholarship, because I believe there is an opportunity as a preferred walk-on for you to earn a scholarship.
Yeah, Coach Vanderlinden said, he's like, you can walk on, and there's a great chance of me earning a scholarship, and that's exactly what I'm planning on doing. I'm not just going to walk on and say, hey, I'm on Penn State football team. I'm not there to just say that. I'm there to earn a scholarship and play for Penn State and, pursue my other goals in life. So,
was it a difficult decision? I know you've got that little. Not the little, but the We Are Penn State. It's in your blood. It's been what you've wanted, where you've wanted to go since you were a kid. But was it still a difficult decision to forego the scholarship? Was it actually easy in the end?
It was. I'm just very thankful for what those other schools have given me to giving me a full scholarship to play football. And I like Cincinnati a lot, and I was thinking about going there. I was really close, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. I'm like, Penn State is where I have to be. Like, that's where what God has in plan for me, in store for me. So.
Outstanding. Mr. Epler?
How important is it, too? How much of a decision was a chance to actually play for Joe Paterno as well? Obviously, we talk to a lot of guys that choose Penn State, and that's usually, that's the highest point of their list. It's a chance to play for a legend like that.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an awesome experience. I don't know how much longer he's going to be there for, but if he's there next year, it's definitely going to be a thing to remember.
So you mentioned about growing up basically with Penn State sort of in your blood. When did that sort of start for you, or is it just something your dad was a Penn State fan, or you just sort of When did that really sort of heat up for you?
I think it was about when I was around 8 years old. I went to my first Penn State game. My dad, he has some friends that are diehard Penn State fans, and we went up there for a game against Michigan State. And I think that was when Larry Johnson broke the all-time rushing score. And when I was sitting there in the 110,000 fans, it gave me goosebumps. I was like, this is gonna be me someday. And I worked and worked and worked, and it finally paid off. So.
Did you talk to Jeremy at all? Did you talk to Mooney at all? I mean, obviously, I know he's
still hanging around teaching.
He's been pretty helpful too with other guys, from the area, not just Mechanicsburg.
Nope.
Guys that want to take that route and kind of take that shot.
I haven't talked to him yet. My coach and I are going to schedule a meeting with him to sit down and talk to him about walking on and stuff. But it should be here soon, the next week or two. So
there's an interesting story about the Cincinnati offer.
Mm-hmm.
He was offered by Cincinnati. You told it to me about you just went to the camp. Usually when a guy goes to a camp, you register and they know about you,
right.
yada yada. They know you're coming. They got you on their radar. Blah blah blah. Can you share that story with us?
Yeah. We were going on. My dad and I were going on a big recruiting trip. We were going to go visit Akron. And I was like, hey, let's stop out at Cincinnati and go to their camp. And they had no idea who I was. And I just walked in and I just did my thing out there. And they were like, who is this kid? And I was just, and the next day after the camp, they called me up and said, we're going to offer you a full scholarship. I was wow. So.
All right, we're going to have more with Mechanicsburg linebacker Bryton Barr when we get back from the break.